Hey guys, Soul Closet here, back making another video. And today I'm going to be doing my first ever review of a product. I've tried to do this in the past for like mechanical keyboards and stuff, but it never really panned out. But today, well, yesterday, I got a new laptop. It is I didn't bring it up and I should do that. It is the ASUS P-Series P2540UA-AB51. That's a mouthful. And it's a business laptop. This is not a gaming laptop. I didn't buy it with the intention for it to be a gaming laptop. It doesn't have dedicated graphics. In fact, let me lay down the specs here for you. It features an Intel Core i5-7200U. That's one of the newer series. That's a KB Lake processor. It runs at 3.1 gigahertz in this particular machine. It's got a 1080p display, which I believe is an IPS panel, although, to be honest, I'm not very good at telling the difference. But it definitely is. It's anti-glare. It's got the nice, filtered coating rather than a glass screen, and it looks great in low light, in the dark or anywhere. I don't have any color calibration tools or anything like that, but judging by my Galaxy S7, which I tend to believe would have pretty decent color when put on the neutral color settings, it has like the same color range as that to my eye, so take that for what you will. But anyway, back to the specs. It doesn't have a dedicated graphics card, so it just uses the Intel graphics in the processor. It's got 8 gigs of DDR4 RAM, which, if I can find the speed here, let me see if Amazon will tell me. It usually doesn't. No, it doesn't actually tell me the speed the RAM runs out. I'll find that out after I'm done recording this and put it on the screen for you here. But 8 gigs of DDR4, so that's just fine. It has a 1 terabyte hard drive in this particular model. I believe there's a model that comes with an SSD, but I didn't see it on the Amazon page when I bought this one. And so I got the 1 terabyte hard drive model. It is a 5400 RPM hard drive, so boot times, and I haven't had too much problem with file transfers compared to the regular 7200 RPM hard drives in my desktop. But in terms of boot time's really slow for a computer with this kind of spec, and loading up games is a little bit iffy, but it's meant as a business laptop. It doesn't need to be snappy for gaming applications. So take that for what you will if you're interested in buying this machine. It comes with Windows 10 Home pre-installed on the machine, and I had no problem setting it up. It did take quite a long time to update at the start, but we all know how Windows 10 updates are. They take a while as it is, so getting all of them at once, you'd expect it to take an hour or two. It took me about an hour and a half with really good Wi-Fi. It does come with AC Wi-Fi, supporting the 5 gigahertz band, so you can use it with with almost any modern Wi-Fi that you'll find anywhere, especially in your home. Let's see. Let's talk about the I/O. So on the left side here, it features 1 VGA port for the old school people. That's probably just because it's a business model. They want you to have backwards compatibility in the office. Then we have the vents here, and then it's got 1 HDMI. I do not know what version of HDMI this is, but I wouldn't imagine it's anything too amazing. It's probably like 1.2. Then it's got an Ethernet jack, a welcome addition. It has 3 USB 3 ports, USB 3.1 Gen 1. So that's, I think that's 6 gigabit. Either way, USB 3.1 Gen 1 ports on the left side there. And that's all for the left side, as well as the charging port. Then we flip it around to the right, and it's got 1 USB 2.0 port, a headphone jack that may be a combination microphone and headphone jack, although I haven't tested it with anything but regular headphones. And a DVD drive, if I can get it open here. Yeah, totally didn't expect to have that, but it's there if you need it. Again, I'm sure that's there because it's a business laptop. So that's the I/O. Let's talk about the body of it itself. So we already talked about the screen. It's 1080p. I think it's IPS. Looks quite nice for a laptop at this price point. Up at the top here, let me get that in the frame. Move it back. No, that's not going to work. Let me adjust the camera. Okay. At the top here, it has a webcam that's, I don't know the resolution. But it's less than 720p. This is not an HD webcam. I think it might be 480p. This is a quick test of some video recorded on both the laptop and the rear camera of my Galaxy S7 smartphone. As you can see, the audio you're hearing is from the microphone on the laptop, but the video from the laptop is very, very poor comparatively. You can see that the colors are washed out, and the field of view on the camera is really small, and as well, the resolution is really, really low, and if I move my head, the FPS, very low. I'm using OBS, Open Broadcaster software, to record with the laptop, and could not get the FPS to go any higher than this. So I would not use this laptop's camera for anything, if possible. The keyboard is your standard laptop chiclet keyboard. It does not feel bad. When you get to the bottom of each key, it does not mush, even if you press down really hard and try to wiggle it. It doesn't have very much wiggle. It doesn't get mushy. With standard short throw chiclet keys, it doesn't have a lot of wobble or anything in the key press. You guys know I'm a big keyboard person. And this, for a laptop at $500, this definitely gets a pass. It's not quite as good as my old Acer Aspire from 2010, but the rest of the laptop more than makes up for that. It also features number pad with a num lock and a scroll lock. All of that. The one weird thing about the keyboard is you'll see that light turning on below my hand on the screen. The lock light, there is no lock light for number lock. Nothing. And the lock light for caps lock is on the front side. That is weird. I don't know why ASUS decided to do that for this model, but I guess you kind of get used to it. I haven't been using it for more than a day at this point, so it hasn't really affected me because I don't use caps lock all too often. But that might be a problem if you like to use your laptop literally in your lap a lot. Moving down from there, we have the touchpad. It's one of the, I like to call them MacBook style touchpads. It's big. It's not huge, but it's pretty sizable. It's soft. A very soft touch plastic. The click buttons are not separated, so you just kind of click down in the corner of the touchpad. I'm not a huge fan of that, but I use tap click. And in the Windows touchpad settings, you can actually set the tap click sensitivity of the touchpad, and changing that setting does appear to make a difference. If you like to do tap to click, or if you like to turn it off, you can do that as well. There's also, on the right side, on the front over here, you might not be able to see it, that little notch right there. That is a fingerprint scanner. This laptop supports TPM, Trusted Platform Module. If you don't know about that, there's a great Tech Quickie video on it made by the guys at Linus Media Group, so you can go watch that for more information on it. But this laptop does support Windows Hello in the form of the Touch ID. That's an Apple thing, but you know what I mean, the fingerprint scanner. And it's a swipe-style fingerprint scanner, so unlike more modern cell phones and stuff like that, where you place your finger and it recognizes it, this one is a swipe one, like the old Galaxy S5 was, if you know about those, where you have to put your finger on it and then swipe it down at about the speed I just did there, about like that. And it'll work half the time. It's not amazing compared to my Galaxy S7 or anything like that, but it is by no means a bad thing, and I do quite like having a fingerprint scanner on both my phone and my laptop when I'm out somewhere, so I can log in without having to think about which login method I have to use. That sounds stupid, but it is helpful. Other than that, let's look at the ventilation on the laptop. So on the bottom here, and on the sides, let me move the camera up just a tad. Okay, so you can see that on the side here, you can't really see. There you go. You can see that it has a vent there, and the same vent is also on the side. And from what I can tell, that is an, not outtake. What is it? exhaust, that's an exhaust vent. And then the intake is along the bottom in those two places there. You can't, there you go, now you can see. There we go. So you can see it's this grill here and this grill here. Those are the intakes from what I can tell. And it works really well. It honestly, it stays cool. It warms up your lap a little bit if you start blocking off the exhaust, but that happens with any laptop because you're blocking off the exhaust and you're stupid. And I accidentally do that while sitting down sometimes, so, you know. But obviously that's not a good idea to do for more than a short amount of time because you'll overheat the laptop and it's your fault. So try not to block the exhaust, you know. Right here on either side, can't see that, right here and right here, those are stereo speakers. You wouldn't expect not to have stereo speakers, but they're on the bottom. And that means that when you have it on a surface, the audio sounds pretty good. So I'm going to quickly open the laptop back up. You can see me log in with the fingerprint scanner. Did it work? Sometimes it takes a second after you unlock it. Oh, that's the wrong hand. That was my fault. There we go. Logs right in. And I'll just open up Spotify here. Hopefully it opens quickly for the sake of editing. Oh, there we go. Nice. And let me just play something. Sure, I'll play this Motion Twist song. So just listen to this. I'll aim the microphone at it. Oh, that's the beginning of it, at the end. So yeah, you can see it's, I mean, hopefully that came through well. I've never actually tried that with this microphone, but, you know, hopefully that came through well. I can attest to that in person, the speakers are great. They are some of the best laptop speakers I have really ever heard outside of those big, chunky 17-inch gaming laptops that are basically a desktop in your backpack. So, full marks to ASUS with this. I was going to say the name, but it's very long, but with this laptop. So, overall, I would say that this computer does a really great job of everything it is supposed to do. The reason I haven't talked about benchmarks or gaming stuff is, one, because I don't own any benchmarking software, and two, because games do not run very well. I cranked Overwatch down to the second lowest resolution possible in 16:9 aspect ratio, and all the lowest settings, and it ran at about 60 to 70 FPS in full screen. So don't expect to be pro gamer on this laptop, but if you want to do like a short little LAN party thing, it'll chug through some of the less taxing games like Overwatch, like CSGO, if you lower the resolution and lower your settings and lower your expectations. But, you know, obviously emulators and older games, it'll handle those no problem because it's a modern computer. And having 8 gigs of RAM instead of 4 or 6 like some laptops have does help a little with the onboard graphics keeping their, doing their work. So, yeah. Anyway, back to what I was saying with the conclusion to this video. Overall, the ASUS P-Series P2540UA-AB51 is a really nicely made laptop. For the price that you pay for it, again, $500 at the time of filming, it is more than worth it. At least to someone like me who has a gaming desktop and doesn't need to be able to play my games on here primarily. This is everything I want for a college laptop. I'm a college student, and my old laptop was running Linux because it wasn't fast enough to run Windows without lagging. So you can imagine doing anything was quite a bit of time and quite a bit of an investment on that old Pentium laptop. Upgrading to a mobile Core i5 Kaby Lake processor and, brushed aluminum body, nice 1080p screen, nice everything, has been great for me. I forgot to mention, there's an SD card reader. Sorry, forgot that earlier. But, for me, it's perfect. The only issue that I could say about this laptop is it would be nice if the fingerprint scanner wasn't swipe and if it was just place your finger down. But you know, I've never even seen a fingerprint scanner on a laptop other than the new MacBooks, so it doesn't really bother me. And it would be nice if the webcam was HD and or at least 30 or 60 FPS. You know, having a really low FPS webcam really does suck. Maybe the only other complaint I have is that the Wi-Fi on my 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi has dropped out on me occasionally, even though I'm right next to the router. But it doesn't happen often, and I don't see it being too big of a problem. I might just need to update drivers or something like that. So that's about it for this review. If you liked it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Haha. But seriously, if you want to see more things like this, leave a like if you want. And let me know in the comments if there's other stuff that I might have or that you know I have that you'd like me to give a formal review on. Or if you just want to see more product reviews in the future from me. I'm really into tech, and so I'm always willing to review stuff if I can figure out what to say about it. With all that said, I'll see you guys next time. Soul Closet out. Bye.